Thank you very much for joining me. How you been? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Steve Rannazzisi. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Fucking lit. I'm the guy. Steve Rannazzisi. Lit. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Fucking lit. I'm the guy. Steve Rannazzisi. What's the odds?
Welcome back to
What's the odds?
What's the Odds with Steve Rannazzisi,
What's-
ladies and gentlemen. It is October 18th, right?
It's the 16th.
16th, even number, very close. It's 2-something in the afternoon in Burbank, California.
Beautiful Burbank, California.
Beautiful, but it's hot as hell out today. But it's a crazy week. It's been a crazy week. First of all, look at me. Look who's here, everyone. In the studio, upright.
Sitting.
Look at this, standing up,
Holy
wearing.
shit. You're like a person.
Yep, it looks like it's a weightlifting belt, but it's really for orthopedic reasons. It's got side saddles over here. It helps with my posture. It's supposed to stay very upright, more upright than normal. This is like the way you're supposed to really sit, you know?
Like this?
Yeah, you're supposed to have like that little curvature in this back. This is what Tracy says it looks like a Kardashian, like what they wear underneath all their clothes and stuff. But it is tight. It does help. But I'm pain-free, and I'm happy to be here with you guys. I do miss the couch. And from time to time, I'll go back to the couch to lay on top of it. So I'm good. I'm glad to be here. Happy to be here. It's been a crazy week. It really has. Many things have happened. We're no longer welcome in China, NBA basketball players.
Nope.
Let's see what else has happened this week. Let's cover some football things.
Okay.
Okay. We had a great football weekend. The Giants covered on Thursday night real quickly, like I said they would, just like I told you they would. The Giants covered Thursday night. It didn't look like they would in the beginning. Halftime, it didn't look like they actually might beat the Patriots on Thursday.
You mean the Patriots covered on Thursday?
Well, the Giants covered by not covering, by not getting enough points,
okay.
and that's how they
You're saying
helped
it-
me.
You're saying it backwards.
They covered for me.
Yes. The
For me,
Giants
they
did you a
covered.
favor
They
by
did me a-
playing
they
like
did
the
me a
Giants.
favor.
You bet
Right.
against them.
I bet against my team
Yeah.
because I used my head, and I said, I know that they're not going to cover because the defense is bad. They're on the road.
Yep.
Brady doesn't have all his weapons, but it could be ugly. And it wasn't. It was competitive. I was happy. I told you on Sunday, I said it was like a win for the Giants. It was, we didn't get, no one got hurt, or Daniel Jones didn't get hurt.
No.
We didn't get demolished or embarrassed on national television. We scored 14 points. It was competitive. And then they did exactly what they had to do. They shit the bed in the last 4 minutes. They let Tom Brady walk into the end zone twice, and they covered for me, which means they didn't cover. So Sunday rolls around. Of course, we've got Lucas's game on Sunday and Brenton's game on Sunday. And so I said, another good friend of mine, Dave Taylor, said, hey, I made a lot of brisket. Let's have like a gathering and watch some football games. So I said, that's great. That's a great idea. So I called Simone. I called you guys up, and everybody came over on Sunday to my house, which was great. We had a great time. People showed up at noon. David destroyed the brisket.
Burnt to a
It was
crisp.
still good, though.
To
It
a
was still
crisp.
delicious.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good. Inside, you had to find the nuggets of goodness, but they were there.
Nuggets of goodness.
You shouldn't have to search for nuggets of goodness in a brisket, but by the way, no one else is cooking 12 pounds of brisket
Yeah, it
for
was
anyone.
delicious, and he was so self-conscious. It was kind of funny. He was like, hey, he ruined it.
I know.
And
He
we were
was
like,
like-
no, you didn't, man. It was
He
great.
showed up, and he's like, I have a disaster on my hands. And he's got Jared Grody behind him, and he's like, I'm the disaster. But no, it was great. We had brisket, and then we started watching Lucas Hurl's game, which was the Baltimore Ravens and
The Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals, and which at that point they were covering pretty well.
Yeah.
The Ravens were covering, and it looked like again it was all going to come down to baby Brenton's decision making about the Atlanta Falcons and whether or not he was going to make the right
believe in
decision.
the Falcons.
Okay. Anyway, by the way, spoiler alert, they didn't fucking cover again.
No.
But we knew it was going to be on him. So I kept saying to him, hey, dude, I want you to look at your friend over here, one of your best friends in the world, and tell him again he's going to do work for nothing because of your dumb decisions. And then he looks at me and he goes, doesn't really matter because I'm winning $236 in daily fantasy right now. And I go, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't care about that. That's got nothing to do with me. We're talking about our bets and what we put on the line every week on What's the Odds podcast. Well, we watched the rest of the games on Sunday. We continued to watch the Ravens game, and they got tighter at the end. And unfortunately for us, your bet didn't come through. You didn't cover. I guess would they win by 5?
Yeah.
They were supposed to win by 11.
Yeah.
All right. And then the afternoon games came, and there was only 2 of them. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people started hanging out outside at the table and eating and talking. But Brenton decided to hang out inside with his fiance and sit there, and they were watching the games. And look. I'm a social person. I invited people over. But I don't force people to sit where they want to. But everyone was outside, and 2 people were hanging out inside.
By the way, she kept bringing up, you should go outside and hang with them.
Well, she's a human being, and she has social graces.
I had to watch the game, Steve, and now you know why I had to watch the game.
Well, baby Brenton's in the living room, sitting there, right? By the way, can I tell you another little small anecdote from this? My son, who has been on this podcast, been a guest on this podcast, okay, is outside throwing a baseball, right? And Brenton didn't even go over and say, hey, person that's been on our podcast before, hello, you're doing an activity that I went to college and played Division II baseball as well.
It was Division III.
Plus, you guys can look each other in the eye.
By the way, I did say hi to him, and then he came in. He was playing, I think,
He was
Fortnite.
hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, he had been
inside,
there
yeah.
for hours.
He talks like you while he plays Fortnite. It's the funniest thing. It's like, what, you fucking don't have any more food? This is
Easy with that. We got a big problem with the F
Bullshit.
curse. I am in
The F curse.
purgatory. I am in purgatory with this F curse. This F curse has caused me a lot of problems. Okay, we'll get into that later on. Don't get me derailed here, Brenton.
Okay.
So, things were happening. People were having a good time. Other activities were happening. But
I was having a good time.
I know you were, but silently, like a weirdo in the corner.
Yeah.
Now your girlfriend, fiance, excuse me, is now part of our group outside, eating, talking, but you're still sitting on the couch. And now we're starting to hear whispers of Brenton's winning a lot of, or could be winning a lot of money on daily fantasy.
Yes.
Now, look, I worked on the show, The League, for 7 years, 7 seasons we did that show. In the beginning, daily fantasy or even fantasy was not even beyond us, our show. Then daily fantasy started coming around and, was a big part and helped boost up our show. But I wasn't really ever aware of playing like specific timed games, like even down to that. So the fact that now he's telling me like my fantasy day ends in like 25 minutes.
Yes.
To which I said to him, I don't give a fuck. The Yankee game starts. Okay? So you can start watching shit on your phone if you want. Like, because I'm thinking, like, what are you winning? Your Mickey Mouse money? What is this you're winning here? I don't understand. He's showing me his phone. I go, I don't get these flames. I don't understand what this means. Like an old person almost.
Yeah.
So I flip to the Yankees. Because fuck him. It's my house, right? We've had burnt brisket. Right? We're drinking beers. You've embarrassed yourself in front of my son, who throws faster than you. And so now we're all sitting there, and now I'm hearing rumors of that you're up to significant amount of money. Now we're up to 6 figures.
Do you want to know how fast it went?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sitting on your couch. Cassie's going, we should go out there and socialize. I'm at $178.
Mm-hmm.
I go, oh, look, I'm winning $178. I refresh it. I'm at $2,400. She's like, oh, man, you should go tell Steve and brag and be like, hey, I'm winning all this money. By the time I stood up, I was at $60,000.
Wow.
By the time I walked 10 feet from your couch to where you were sitting, I was at $100,000.
That's what I thought.
And then I jumped into first place and was at $1 million, and that's where I stayed the rest of the afternoon until everyone hit 0.
Well,
The number 1 lineup in daily fantasy football.
for the entire day. Because he's telling me I'm up to $100,000, and now it's getting around the party where it's like $100,000 is on the line here.
Yep.
We're all checking in with him.
Yeah.
We're sitting around the table. He's passing it around. We're going, okay, so now what would have to happen if this is going to happen?
Correct.
Like, because other people, and you're now the Rams game is ending because you've got San Francisco's defense, correct?
Yeah.
And the shout out to Bertolini. Happy birthday, Mike Bertolini, who runs this thing. A true 49ers fan, and will be sorely disappointed again in the playoffs because they are not as good as they probably think they are. They don't think they're that good. Who's going to beat them? A lot of people. The New Orleans Saints. With Drew Brees back, you want to go into New Orleans and play them there? I don't think you do, but you might not have to because you might have a better record, but I don't think you will.
I'll tell you who's going to beat them.
Okay. Oh, really? Anyway, Brenton has their defense now. And now you've got to wait for them to get the clock over because who knows? Jared Goff throws a touchdown.
Garbage time.
You get knocked down to whatever. And
how stressed were you during the wrap?
I don't think my heart rate dropped for 2 hours. There was so much adrenaline, and there were so many things that could have happened.
I didn't know what was happening, but when you were sitting on that couch, you looked like Krzyzewski on the Duke sideline. Like you just had this like intensity, where you were just looking straight ahead like a college basketball coach like this. And I was like, "What's going on?" And then that's when you came over to the table, and it jumped from 100,000, and then you were like, "It could be $1 million."
What put me over the top was 48 seconds left in the Cowboys game. Zeke's 12-yard catch.
That put you over the
that's
top.
What
You had
me.
Ezekiel Elliott and the other
and you
game.
were outside for that, right?
Yeah.
You were at the table when that went. I remember that.
And I'm thinking he's having a bad time the entire time because now I don't hear what's going on until I hear that you have $500,000 and you're moving up to like $1 million, and that's going on. And then I flipped the games back to watch the rest because I was like, well, now I have to be a human being to see if this guy wins $1 million. And even when you won, like when it was over, when the games were over, I remember you looking at your phone, you screen capturing, and everyone's like, people are high-five. It's weird. It's a new way to win $1 million where it's like, there's no like knock at the door where someone opened up the door and was like, hey, you know you're the guy, or a phone call or anything. It's like you just won $1 million. And
it was surreal.
You're high five. You were very positive. I was very negative.
He was teaching his son how to throw a knife.
Yeah. So I was saying, like, first of all, I don't believe you won $1 million. All right. Like show me this million. And he showed me the screen capture.
Yep.
And I'm looking at it. I'm like, I feel like this is a thing where it's like in 15 minutes you're gonna get an email, like like one of those like, hey, thanks for playing this week. Here's your check for $1.50 or whatever it was. Like like you almost won $1 million, or you were this close, or so one of those form sort of things. And when you were like, I need to get to a regular computer, which was a good idea. You went inside to my room, used a desktop, and now you're pulling out like, it was like official stuff from them.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, I talked to them, and they walked me through the steps on how to withdraw everything.
Wow.
And then it hit the account yesterday.
So yesterday.
So it is mine.
So yesterday, as of yesterday, have, and you could say if you want to, for how much money?
$1 million.
$1 million. You made $1 million.
$1 million
On daily fantasy.
But most importantly, I am better at fantasy football than Steve Rannazzisi. 1 million times better, to be exact.
Here's the special part about this whole thing, and I've been thinking about this for a while.
Better.
Okay.
1 million times
When I started
better.
this podcast, I said to myself, I don't want to do this alone. I can't do this alone. Who do I want to mentor? Who do I want to take under my wing and say, hey, here's what I've learned. Here's like a fun sort of way into sports to kind of make everybody interested, gambling. And I said, you're interested in this? Come here. And so I took you under my wing, right? And so I said, okay, let's do this thing together. Which, by the way, we're almost at a year doing this together.
Yeah.
Okay? So from there, right, you never would have done any of this daily fantasy things on your own.
No.
None of these things.
I've only been doing it for 3 weeks.
I know.
Oh, my God.
3 weeks.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
We missed
That's
the critical
incredible.
part. My wife was out during this entire thing. Now I'm not having a good time at my own
in my home, where my wife sleeps and my children come to play.
I'm not having a good time in my own party. Okay, and now my wife is back. And all she says to me, she hears 3 things. She's like, she's not part of the party that we were, like the football stuff. She was out all day.
Yep.
She comes back. She's like, and she hears peripherally, like, what? $1 million? And she heard someone won $1 million, right? Then she found out it was you. She talked to you, and it was from Daily Fantasy. And all
She was
said
ready
to
to
me-
leave you.
She just said to me, she goes, "Why don't you ever do that? Like, why have you never done that? And why all I hear you talk about is football and fantasy football, and why have you never done this? And like, why are we not winning $1 million? Like, and honestly, that's how I felt too.
You don't have my mind, Steve.
Well, okay,
I can walk you through this lineup.
walk me through.
This was
yes. So okay.
complete dumb luck, and a lot
What-
of things
first of all,
had to happen for that lineup to happen.
Let me tell you something. When did you get the idea to do to put in a lineup? 3 weeks ago, you started doing daily.
Yeah, I started doing it
3
just
weeks
because
ago?
I can't win a parlay to save my life.
I
You
know
that.
you fuck up every single
But-
one.
but
every
if-
one.
I figured-
I mean, like we're playing for fucking
But I
change
figured-
over here.
but I
$220. We're trying to feed this fucking guy. All I give him is burnt brisket.
But what I am good at,
I'm racking my brain
more
here, going,
sandwiches.
when will this guy learn? You being the other, this guy that we just we nickel and dime him. Don't go with your heart. Don't go with your heart. But for this, you put your fucking thinking cap on.
This is different.
And now all of a
This
sudden
is
we know
different.
we have a beautiful mind.
No, this is different.
I don't understand it, Brenton. I understand fantasy, but okay. So all right. So now it's Sunday. You know you're gonna put your 220 in.
There's genuine
No,
emotion.
oh, I
here.
hate it, dude. I hate
palpable.
it. I don't even look at his lineup. I don't even want to look at it. It makes me sick to my stomach.
It's right there behind you. Beautiful
Because you're
lineup.
going to hear some theory behind it. That means Tinker.
No, there's no
Tinker
theory.
Toppers.
There's no
There's
theory.
Nothing, it
I
means
like-
nothing.
No, Steve. It's,
Him winning
it's
$1 million in
complete-
fantasy football is like a dumb person falling into a hole filled with $1 million.
It's
That's the same luck you
complete
have.
Dumb
a
luck.
silly person
There was
walking
no-
along, maybe on their phone, falling into a ditch, probably in Florida, and it's filled with $1 million. It's the
Out
same.
from the ground came the
luck.
bubbling crude.
Yeah, it's the same.
Texas
Look.
tea, oil.
So okay.
They're Beverly Hillbillies.
It really is, dude. He walks in like Ric Flair. Look at this. Made of
I
gold.
bought this jersey before.
I go, when did
I
the
got
money
this in
come in?
June.
Bum, bum,
This was
bum,
purchased
bum,
in
bum.
June.
Up. He's walking around like he's the Intercontinental
I purchased this
champion
in
of the
June. I didn't
fucking
go
world.
splurge. Listen, I bought a new car on Saturday. I won the money on Sunday. I didn't know I was gonna. That car is new, but I got it the
You
day
bought
before.
a car?
The
I
day
feel like
before.
Goodfellas.
The
Take
day
it
before.
back.
It was
What's
the day
wrong with
before.
you?
It was
I
the
told
day
you buy
before.
nothing.
I bought it the day before.
I
The
got
car
her a
is in her
mink.
mother's name. The car is in her mother's
I got her a mink. Take it back.
But this is why I won $1 million. Todd Gurley did not play on Sunday.
So
because Todd Gurley
Wow.
did not play on Sunday, I was scrambling on my season-long league for the Comedy Store, and I had Ronald Jones. So I go, okay, I'll put Ronald Jones in. He's been getting touches. He's got some
So
opportunity.
hold on before you break down.
Okay.
I want to hear because I this is new for me and for our listeners and viewers. Some of them haven't done this before. You get a certain amount of money, right? And you got to buy a team based
you're
on
a
that.
pretend
correct?
GM.
Okay.
You get $50,000 of pretend
Sure.
money. All the players basically cost what their rankings are projected to be, and you
Yup.
have to stay under the salary cap and fill all the positions, and then you score points with those players like you would in regular fantasy football, and then it's just whoever is at the top gets the top money, and then it just goes down. And
What's the buy-in?
$20.
Wow.
That's it.
I paid $20. Technically, I entered
I
it.
have $20.
I entered it 4 times. 2 of my lineups didn't win anything, and my
You
third
could
lineup.
give him $4 million in 20s for
I-
the rest
I
of his
would
life.
never-
He'll
I would
accomplish
never do this
ever
All
again.
right.
The odds are impossible.
We've got a phone call. All right, let's take this. Ladies and gentlemen, you're on What's the Odds with Steve Rannazzisi, lady or gentleman or whoever you are. What's your question? What's going on? Tell me about you. Nothing.
Hey, how you doing, Steve? Yeah, I got the question.
Who is this? Who are you?
So, would you be as? Oh, I'm Jose.
Oh, Jose.
How you guys doing?
Okay, good, man. How are you?
Good. I was just a quick question. Would you guys be as loyal? I don't know if you guys heard the story about the Alabama college student that called in a bomb threat during the game of Florida and LSU
Yeah, dude. I got a guy
for a
that's sitting
friend
next to
that
me
had a large bet on it.
Yes. Well, we were going to cover that. But by the way, have you been watching? Did you hear that Brenton won $1 million playing daily fantasy? Did that affect you at all?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. Well,
No.
Brenton won $1 million
I'm a
playing daily
champion,
fantasy
and I'm better at fantasy
on
football
Sunday
than Steve Rannazzisi.
at my house in front of my family.
That's amazing.
His entire family.
He showed up
His wife is leaving him for me.
throughout the day. The course of the day, he won $1 million playing daily fantasy on DraftKings. I guess we should give them a shout out.
Yeah, shout out to I love you, DraftKings.
I
You're my
mean-
best friend.
$1 million.
I would hope so. Holy shit!
Do you play daily fantasy?
I have not. No.
No. Do you gamble at all?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you know what the chances are to win $1 million on a $20 bet? They're infinite.
This week it was one in about 216,000.
Oh my God. It couldn't have happened. As Mike,
I'm not a dumb person.
Not a
Don't
dumb
call
person.
me a dumb person.
No, not a dumb person. But you are.
Does my beginner's luck work for this?
Middle.
As well?
I mean, I'm 3 weeks in, so I think so.
You're a good-hearted Ohioan boy.
Yes.
Who with a heart of gold, right? You're not out to get over on anybody else, but you're not supposed to put together a beautiful fantasy football team to win $1 million. That was not in your future. But he did it. He did it. But let me tell you something. We're going to get to your question about whether or not our loyalty runs that deep.
Would I commit a federal crime to help somebody who made a dumb bet?
Did you hear about this, by the way, Simone?
No. Probably not.
Some guy called in a bomb threat at the LSU game.
Why?
Because his buddy had a tremendously large bet. I don't know what it was, but I mean, whatever it was to them.
Because he thought it would.
It
would wipe the bet off.
It would end the game.
Yeah, it'll end the game, and they won't have to. The writing was on the wall. This kid was going to lose the bet.
Okay.
So this guy, his buddy, called in a bomb threat.
But wouldn't the bookie or whoever he placed the bet with just say that's it? Like
no. If the stadium got a bomb threat and they had to clear the game and they couldn't finish it, then
so it's a no contest.
A draw. Everyone gets their money back now.
That's a good friend, though.
I mean, come on, dude. That is a great friend, and he's going to go to jail for it. He's going to go to jail for it. We'll get to it in a little bit. All right. Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate the phone call. Watch and listen. All right. Thank you. All right. So now you decide you're going to put your $20 in. You did figure it out.
Well, I'd made 3 lineups on Saturday.
And you went with Matt Ryan, too. I just looked at the first name I want to throw up in my fucking mouth. I want to throw up.
Second highest score of the week, I believe.
Oh, God.
But I had 3 lineups that I put in on Saturday. This was the last lineup I made about an hour and a half before the game started. And the reasoning behind it was...
Wait, you did tinkering before that the whole time?
I did tinkering, yeah. Well,
why?
I submitted 4 different lineups, so I paid $80.
Okay,
I paid
that's
20,
what I was
20,
gonna
20.
ask.
You can submit, in this contest, you can submit up to 150 lineups.
Wow.
Whoa.
So if you can figure out, if you have that much time and you know what you're doing, you could technically submit 150 lineups and come in first through 150 and win,
Yeah.
shitload of money.
Of course.
That's
what
so
you're going to do next
I
week?
had 3 lineups, right? And then I woke up, Todd Gurley's not playing, so I'm screwed at running back. I pick up Ronald Jones. I put him in my flex. They're the London game at 6:30 in the morning, our time, right? So I fall asleep on the couch that night to wake up to watch that game. And it's not on Hulu. It's not on NFL Sunday Ticket. So I'm like, well, this is a waste of time. So I just put on ESPN2 and there's some random fantasy show on. And they start talking and I'm just kind of half listening and I hear the name Carlos Hyde. Oh, he might have a good game today. So I'm thinking, I don't have any lineups with Carlos Hyde. I should build a lineup around Carlos Hyde. So I pick up Carlos Hyde. I see he's dirt cheap. And then a few minutes later, I'm coming in and out of sleep because it's early in the morning. I didn't sleep much. Oh, Stephon Diggs, he's due for something. I'm like, Stephon Diggs is super cheap. I'll take him. And then, Washington's playing Miami. They're probably going to score on each other. There's no defense, so I'll take the best player in that game and Terry. And then, I had to go all in on the Falcons because I've been talking shit about the Falcons. And so I was like, I got to go Matt Ryan. I got to go Austin Hooper because the Cardinals can't cover a tight end.
And it worked.
Fucking worked. I've got Chris Carson in our league, so I was like, I'll be loyal to him. I can afford him. I've got Zeke in our league. I can afford him. And then I had the 49ers defense in another league, so I'm like, I'll ride or die with them, even though I didn't think they were going to be as good as they were against the Rams. And then it was just, it all worked. And then it's like, what do I do with the last spot? The Bengals throw the ball a lot. I can't afford Tyler Boyd. Who's the next best guy? Auden Tate. He's getting like 9 targets a game.
And the guy goes for 5 receptions, 91 yards. And one by one, each one of them had a flame next to it. So you just know that this guy is just going off. You got a guy. In fantasy, you have 1 or 2 guys. I had Aaron Jones a couple weeks ago,
Steve,
4 touchdowns.
This wouldn't have happened if I was watching the London game. I wouldn't have made this fourth lineup.
This wouldn't have happened if I didn't start this podcast.
Well, that's true.
Do you understand?
But I wouldn't be on the podcast if Bertolina hadn't forced you to let me be on the podcast.
No, that has nothing to do with it. This is all because of my mind. Okay?
I'm so glad you decided to
Do you
stop
understand now?
reading
This
books.
podcast now has 2 people who have made $1 million.
Wait, who else made $1 million?
From fantasy football. I was on a TV show about fantasy football.
You made $1 million on the TV show?
Yeah, throughout the course of 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah, Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
I did it
didn't
in-
work for free.
I did it in one afternoon, so.
Do you
If
think
it's
this is
Italian, it's like Farley and Sandler.
No, it really no, because honestly, like he now believes. I know he believes now in his heart that he's like some sort of fucking expert. That he knows more.
I didn't
than
get
I'm
that
everyone
from
not
that
an
story.
expert. I'm not an expert. That
I
was
think
all
you should
dumb
send a
luck
fruit basket
based
to
on
ESPN
very
too.
personal experience.
Fruit basket.
And what was going on
That's
with
what I'm
me.
thinking. Who was the person
Who was
you
the
were
guy that
listening
said
to?
Carlos Hyde?
I don't even know.
You don't
I
know.
was half
it was
asleep.
an angel.
I
I bet
was
it was
half asleep.
I bet it wasn't even on TV. I bet it was a dream, and it was
maybe.
divine intervention.
Maybe. But Carlos Hyde is my favorite player. Stephon Diggs is my favorite player. Matt Ryan is my favorite player. Chris Carson's my favorite player. Terry McLaurin's my favorite player. Auden Tate's my favorite player. Austin Hooper and the Atlanta Falcons offense are my favorite of all time. Here's the funny thing, too. Before I realized I was winning money, I had Devontae Freeman for the Falcons going in season long, and I was cheering against Austin Hooper thinking, oh, fuck, Austin just caught another touchdown, and it didn't go to Devontae Freeman, and this really sucks.
Dingbat.
And this really sucks.
Like a dingbat. Do you understand? Cheering against himself because he didn't know what he did. He didn't know what you did. You just...
I had no idea.
You threw stuff against the wall. It worked out, and now... I mean, look.
I am the
it could
Rudy
not
of
have
fantasy
happened
football.
To a better person, a harder worker, a person who is kind and will do good with the money and not fucking blow it. By the way, we have to talk about that. You see, I have to stand up now because you're aggravating me. Listen to me, okay? I'm very happy for you. Mm-hmm. I'm very happy that this happened, especially at this time of your life. If this happened fucking 10 years ago, it would be different.
Yeah.
Okay? But now you're going into marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You got a house. Mm-hmm. Okay? So now you got $1 million, right? In your bank. I mean, if you don't talk, let's talk candidly.
Which, by the way, if you're worried about me blowing the money, I'm 31 and I bought a house in LA before this.
No, I
That's
understand.
incredible. And
No,
have all.
I get that.
And
But
I
you
wasn't
know you
on
have to pay
TV.
taxes on this, right?
Oh yeah. I've already talked to my financial advisor. I've already made the arrangements to do all that. Like it's
you
like I
already
said,
made the
arraignment.
wrong decisions. Okay, you keep that all right there.
Uh-huh.
Don't even look at it. You call DraftKings right now.
Uh-huh.
We figure out who's going to win tomorrow night's game, that Thursday night game, and we put it all on that. All of it, every fucking.
That's not how-
nickel.
that's
The
not how
tax
DraftKings
money,
works, though.
Everything, dude.
But that's not how DraftKings works.
It will if they call you. You're a
No,
millionaire.
that's not how they
Don't
work.
you have a hotline?
You don't bet on straight games in DraftKings.
Dude, we can
We would
make
have
it
to
work.
build a lineup.
We'll build a lineup based on tomorrow.
But they don't
night's
have
games.
$1 million contest. They're like $3, $10, $20. You can do a private one for like 10 grand. but
Trust me, I'm sure out there in the internet,
Who's gonna
someone will
take-
take our
who
money to
has
play
$1
us
million
fantasy
that would
football
wanna go
one-on-one
head-to-head?
tomorrow night. Someone will, and we'll beat them. Well, let's look at the long term here. Generational wealth, not just like, oh, I got mines.
I got mine.
Okay, we're talking about long-term shit here, Brenton.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that your kids' don't have to work, that you have buildings with your name on the side of them.
He's trying to turn you into Trump.
I'm going to be president one day.
I'm not talking about, you could pick whoever you want. You could pick Trump or you could pick Carnegie.
Brenton, I need a new car, so
You could pick Mayo, a clinic named after you. Okay? but they won't do it if you have a nickel. I'm just who's this?
This sounds like
Someone's
you're getting a
calling me.
personal call.
this is
It's a
different
personal
from
call.
yeah.
Hold, please.
Just hang up.
No, I'm like, I want to make, first of all, and now, okay, so now you've got this money now, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Got to treat yourself a little bit. You have to take a victory lap.
I got a stuffed crust pizza.
A what?
A stuffed crust pizza. Feeling pretty good about that.
I'll say this, and you were there, and you were there.
Yep.
I feel like this is the Wizard of Oz, and you were there. I don't think when did it sink in for Cassie?
She didn't think it was real the
Yes.
entire time it was happening.
She was on my. I didn't think it was real either.
She made a good point. She's like, you think you have had things before, and then you're wrong about it, and you get all worked up and excited.
That's the best
and
part.
It doesn't pan out.
When that was happening, I go, this is a win for me either way. Because, look, if he wins $1 million, that's great for him.
It's incredible.
But if he doesn't, he's already told us all that he won $1 million. And when the fall's going to be even better, watching him having to tell everyone that it didn't come true.
Well, my fear was a third option that
Why?
he did win it, but there'd be some sort of scam where he wouldn't get the money.
Oh, that would be great. We could spend the whole podcast trying to crack the system and get you your
my
money.
funds, like I had to call my bank to make the initial
Yeah,
deposit because it's like in Costa Rica or Puerto Rico or something.
Well, that's the thing with
it's
these. Look, I'm not saying, look, DraftKings is great, but you never know when these companies are going to just, like Dave Taylor was like, you get that money right now.
Immediately.
They
Dude,
closed
I don't
tomorrow.
even think they said you won the $1 million before you requested $1 million. I remember you saying you requested $1 million to come out right away.
Yeah.
And so you were like, okay, I'll take that out right now. That way it's like, I just got it.
Yeah.
They can't take it back then.
Yep.
And they were like, fuck you. Well, tomorrow's Columbus Day. Easy. Pump the brakes here. So how did she feel? Like, when you got home, was she different? Like, yesterday, was it different? When has it been different, and have you noticed a difference?
It hasn't
And are
been-
you utilizing your newfound power?
It hasn't been that different. She was still very much paranoid. And then yesterday when it hit the account, then she was like, well, make sure you check it again today because I've read where these deposits, they go in, but then they go right back out. So you got to make sure that I don't know what
You
she
know
was
what she's
talking
saying
about.
to you?
don't know
Can
what
I
she
tell you
read.
what she's saying to you?
What's that?
She wants to take out all the money and in singles and make love on the bed, Scrooge McDuck style. Like you guys naked, you just lay out on all the singles and you have sex so that you feel
McDuck style.
Yeah, like you know when he used to swim
Yeah.
around in the pennies and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, like that's what you do with this with the money. Then that's what she wants you to do.
Yeah.
and that's fun. You could do that. You should do something fun. Take a little bit to have like a go. Oh my God, this is a great moment in my life.
You had to anchor in that experience. Like
Well, I had to
something
go
celebrate.
to, I moved the money so it was in different banks, so everything would be insured.
Shell companies.
And no, just banks.
Legitimate
banks.
What's
all
the
American
FDIC?
banks.
$250,000?
All four of them are $250,000. So I wanted everything insured before I do anything with
Smart.
it. And the only thing so far that's really been different was I started opening the account with a banker, and then we probably 15 minutes in, he's like, well, what are you depositing? And I told him, and he just got up and walked away, brought the manager over. She introduced herself and shook my hand, and she's like, we need to go with the high roller clients. Actually, we have an office, so if you can follow me, we'll respectfully transfer you to another banker that can handle a high, priority
Wow.
client.
And
Yeah,
how do
dude.
you deposit that? Do they give
I
you?
wrote a check to myself.
Question:
So
Do you
cool.
have student loans?
No,
Really?
dude,
Good for you.
I have been working 2 full-time jobs and another like 4 side jobs for 3 years now.
And you paid them off already?
Paid everything off. I
I
have.
remember that
I
day
have
when I
no-
called. I was either run from them forever, and then I just one day got enough money where I just called them and paid it all off at once.
That's amazing.
And I thought it was the greatest phone call ever. And the guy's like, credit card number or bank account number, routing number. And I was like, have you ever had this before? And he's like, what? I'm like, have you ever had this before? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, have you ever had someone just call and go, take it all back right now.
Let's-
We're good.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And I'm like,
Oh.
okay. This is like not a special thing for you. There's no like, oh wow, sir, look at this. They don't even change. They didn't even shift their emotion at all. They're
It's
just
not like
fucking
Ghostbusters.
monotone. Yeah,
We got one.
yeah. I'm expecting like balloons and
Yeah, yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Some sort of party.
Well, that's what I thought was interesting when Brenton won. Nobody thought he won but me.
Oh,
Remember everybody, because I was like, no, this is the emotion everybody gets wrong in acting class.
oh God.
Because it hits. At what
It
point did it
wasn't-
sink
yeah.
in? Because it has to go from like, is this real? Is this going to happen? Then when it happens, like my crazy brain would go, how are they going to try to take it from me? Like the pressure.
My son, it was so unreal in the moment. I mean, people were like hugging and stuff, but not like like a lottery. Like there's no moment where it's like 2, 9,
Right.
7, and the Powerball number is 14, and you're like, fuck yes.
Right.
This was just like, is this real? is this moment real?
Yep.
And then it sort of just trickled down over there after that. So there's no like moment of impact to the point where I'm like, my son the next day was like, did he really win $1 million? And I'm like, yeah, no, he really won. Like,
yeah.
He's like, did he give you a big check? I go, yeah, it's bigger than him.
No, but if DraftKings wants to sponsor us, I'd
Yes.
be more than happy to stand by a giant check and
I mean,
tell everybody to sign up. And
But that was one of my fears.
You
First
can
of all-
be an idiot and win $1 million.
That should be their whole marketing.
if these two idiots have proven anything to you, you can win millions of dollars in fantasy football and not know a goddamn thing.
And for the record, I won in 18 contests, and it was actually $1,600,000 and like 17 cents
Oh, so you won $600.
on top of the million.
So
I
now
won
the-
in 18 out of the 21 contests I entered.
So the question is that I have now going forward is, I mean, is that are you going to pay Lucas the money that you have lost him the last 2 weeks?
no, we've lost that
Based
as a
on the
group.
fact that you have shit the bed.
We've
and all
lost
this.
that as a group, and
No,
this
no,
is
no,
separate.
no,
this
no,
is separate.
no,
this is
no.
separate, Steve.
This is not
This is
separate.
separate.
No, this is part of the podcast. This
It
is
is
part of
not.
the split we
There
discussed
are
at the
different
beginning of
segments
the podcast.
that we do
I'm
on the
getting my hands on the
podcast.
piece of. First of all,
Parlay
let's look
is
at the
separate
facts, Your Honor.
From my personal daily fantasy
Podcast
you didn't even know what
created
that
by
was.
me. Gambling addiction created by me. House whose ownership of the house who he allegedly won the money at, and Wi-Fi he used, and me. Okay, so if there's not the split we discussed in anything, I mean, like I've got all the facts in front of me.
By the way, what's the cost for the naming rights of this podcast?
The what?
The naming rights of this podcast. So I'm thinking, what's the odds with Brenton Biddlecombe?
No. Oh, you want to buy the naming rights to this
I
podcast?
think I should buy the naming rights of this podcast.
Do you want to do a sponsorship on it? Hold on 1 second. Let's take this phone call. You're on What's the Odds with Steve Rannazzisi and new millionaire Brenton Biddlecombe. Who's this?
This is Nick.
Oh, Nick. I know Nick. This is Penn State Nick from New York, a guest on the podcast last December with my buddy PJ. Have you heard or listened at all today? Do you know what's going on?
I have not. I just decided to call. That's it.
Okay, well, Brenton won $1 million playing daily fantasy this past Sunday. $1 million
Oh,
fucking
shit.
real
Wait,
dollars.
Steve, tell him how much you won.
Wow. Good
What?
for you, man.
I gave my house up to friends to come over, so I lost money that day because nobody else buys anything. Even though you give them a list of shit to buy, no one ever fucking does it. But
I came in with what
came
you
in-
told me
yeah,
to.
I know. And if I knew you were going to win $1 million, I would have given you a different fucking list. Anyway, so he won $1 million, dude, on fucking Sunday. Real cash. It's in his account now. Like, you take it out.
3 commas.
First of all, what do you think you should do with it? And are you happy for him?
I'd leave the show and get another job probably. Actually, I wouldn't even work at all.
$1 million, you think you could sail on for the rest of your life?
I mean, I'd leave you. That'd be the first thing I'd do.
I think you guys, because you've always wanted to have a meatball eating contest, right? So you guys should have a meatball eating contest.
Dude, that's a lot. That's a lot of meatballs. I'm ready. I'm ready to
Why
do
don't we
it.
have the $1 million meatball eating contest?
$1
million
that's fine.
on the
That's
table,
fine.
right? Brent, it's the Brenton Biddlecombe
I gotta tell you,
meatball eating contest.
millionaires don't eat meatballs.
What do you mean? You're eating meatballs, dude.
We're doing caviar.
Caviar?
Caviar. I'm not up for that, man. No way.
No,
No,
like
I'll do
smelt eggs?
I'll do meatballs.
Meatballs? We'll go-
I'll eat meatballs against anybody.
It's going to be the bi-coastal $1 million meatball eat-off,
Sponsored by Domingos.
sponsored by Domingos on the West Coast, and we'll get a sponsor on the East Coast to make the meatballs. Well, I'm sure maybe Steve's Pizza Place. Is that still open, Nick?
Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll make the
Closed about
meatballs.
30 years ago.
Oh, damn. All right. We'll figure out a place to make the meatballs on the East Coast. And we'll have...
I don't think it makes a difference as long as the size is comparable. As long as they're decent, around the same size, it doesn't make a difference who's making what.
I don't think so either. I think if we can weigh them, we can show like you'll have a scale, we'll have a scale out here, like right around the same amount of weight on the ball, and
Do
then
total
I'm
weight.
in.
yeah, and then we'll do
Total weight.
10. We'll do 10-minute, and then winner gets Brenton's $1 million, and I think that's a pretty fair way
Yeah,
to go about it.
that's a deal. That's a deal.
I think we
have
can
nothing
even go-
to put up against it, so
I mean-
nothing to put up against it, though.
I've seen you eat, and it's remarkable. But then again, I've been beaten by Brenton, so I really don't have anything
That's
to.
true.
He was
we could get
doubled up,
T-shirts.
Nick. He
Team
was doubled
Brenton.
up.
Team Baby Brenton, the newly found baby with money coming out of him, or the Long Island Italian stallion, the underground champion, eating from his stomach since 1995, Nicky Penn State Nicky. Let's do this.
I'll do it whenever. I'll do it whenever. I'll do it tomorrow. You want to do it tomorrow? Let's get the meatballs.
Oh, he's ready, dude. Brenton, first of all, you can't. I don't know if you could see it, but he's wearing. So the guy wins $1 million, Nick. Right? He goes out and buys a Buffalo.
Stop! I bought
Sabres
this in
jersey.
June.
He looks like Ric Flair.
In June.
It's the white one with the gold. The gold is so obnoxious. Have you ever seen that white Sabres jersey?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nice jersey, but it looks like a kid just found $1 million in a hole, and now he's just going out and spending on what he wants to spend it on.
I pre-ordered it in June.
Who's on the jersey? What jersey is it?
The Sabres.
Who's on the jersey? Number 50.
It just says Sabres on the back. It's
Just
the
says
50th
Sabres.
anniversary.
Oh my God! It's an anniversary fucking jersey.
I pre-ordered
Nick.
this in June, Steve.
It's an anniversary.
I'm going to
jersey.
see him tonight in Anaheim.
It's not even dedicated
that's
to
nice.
a certain place.
Yeah.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
why I'm
God,
wearing it.
Look at this. This is.
He won $1 million. If I won $1 million, I'd come in my underwear. What's the difference?
MC Hammer's gonna have more money in a year than this guy. Fucking A, bro. Every day.
I bought this in June.
Dude, he already bought a new car.
I was poor then.
We were like, this is like Goodfellas. He's gonna come in the mink next. Return it. When's enough? Enough is enough.
I got
Brenton.
the car on Saturday. It's unrelated.
You better not. First of all, you better save the money.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Nick's gonna beat you in the meatball eating contest. And then
He's not going to be. He's not going to have. I'm going to take that money awfully
I'll
fast.
tell you, Nick, if you take the money, you're also taking the taxes that go along with it.
I don't know anything about taxes.
All right, thanks for. Nick. By the way, do you have a opinion on the Penn State game this weekend? What is it, Penn State and
Penn State, Michigan?
Yeah.
Nah, Penn State's going to win that game. I think they're going to win that game.
And what's the spread on that one? It was pretty big for like what are they, a 14-7 matchup? Because Michigan.
14-7, yeah. But Michigan's weird, man, because they almost lose to Army initially.
Yeah.
Army's a good
the
team,
first game
though.
of the season, they almost lost.
Army's a good team. If you go back and look at last year, they took another. I forget who it was, but they took another ranked opponent to overtime and lost on the road. So they're
you're right.
a good
They
team.
did.
Yeah, but I think Penn State wins the game. I don't know what the spread is, but I thought it was big for a matchup that close. It's in Penn State.
No, I think Penn State wins too, but I wouldn't go with any sort of spread because.
Are they at home?
I believe they are. Yeah.
Are you? I guess you're not going, huh?
I'm pulling it up right now. It is.
No,
That was the coldest I've ever been in
We're
my
actually
life.
going to a hockey game. To a hockey game in January.
Oh, you are? Nice. Who are they playing?
Yeah.
So Penn State
I don't
at
even know.
home
I-
is giving 9 points. The over/under is 47.
9 points. I think they covered 9 points.
Yeah, I don't
at
know,
home.
man. I don't know. Penn State really hasn't played. I mean, Iowa's a tough team, but they haven't played much of anybody prior to that, though. So, I mean, at the time when Maryland came off of actually, no, they came off a loss, but they had a big upset initially during the year. Then Penn State ended up playing them, and Maryland beat the shit out of them. But Maryland's been terrible lately.
I think they covered 9 points at home. I do.
Yeah, I think so.
By the way, are you happy that we got today off? By we, I mean the Yankees got today off. If you haven't heard, there's no baseball game tonight.
I think it helps them.
I'm not though, because
Doesn't help the
now they
Yankees.
pushed back. No, not at all. Because now they're gonna hold back all their their starters.
Tomorrow will be
and we're gonna
Tanaka and Greinke, and then
Greinke doesn't scare anybody.
no,
though.
I think we win that game. But then we go. Then they'll go. We got to throw like a bullpen game. Then one of those 4 games, you're gonna have to throw a bullpen session together because you got to save Paxton and Luis Severino for 6 and 7 up against Verlander and Cole, right? Otherwise,
Cole,
you can't. I mean, you can't throw a bullpen crew together up against one of those guys because.
Well, you know what? Hit the freaking ball.
I know.
I mean,
Yesterday was
hit the
awful.
ball. So.
That guy did not. I mean, look, he's a great pitcher, but he walked 5 guys.
No.
He only struck out 8
Yeah.
guys, and most of them was that last inning when he finally knew that was like his 9th inning, and he threw 100 miles an hour. But he also left first and second. We left first and second 3 times. 3 times. We had first and second,
timely hitting,
nobody
man.
out in
Timely
the first
hitting.
inning. And I'm sorry, dude. I don't know how you feel. Say what you want. You got the best pitcher in baseball on the mound, and my first 2 guys, or my second and third guy, it was the first 2 guys lead off with hits.
Yeah.
And my number 3 hitter, for some reason I put in, is a great utility guy, a great bunter, Brett Gardner, and I don't tell him that, like, if anyone you want on your team to lay down a bunt in that situation and move the runners over to second and third, you could score a fucking run on an out against the best pitcher in baseball. I don't understand. I know the numbers and the analytics don't say it, but I don't understand how you don't, as a manager, go, we gotta fucking win right now in this moment. This is what needs to happen.
Chance to score a run, take it.
By the way, if they did, they still wouldn't have done it because the next two guys just had shit pop outs. But at least I would have felt better. I would have felt, I don't know. Well, you have the ability. You see two guys sitting at second and third. We got to win tomorrow, or it's over. Mm-hmm. And you know, I think we could beat Verlander. And by the way, I think we could beat Cole. I don't know if we could beat him in Houston, but I think we can beat him. I don't think the guys.
They could beat anybody with that lineup. It's just they'll be all right. So, all right, listen, I gotta go, man.
All right.
Let's set up this meatball thing.
We will. All right, later, money.
All right, Dave.
Bye.
I love how we started cutting into his time.
I know. Well, he's got shit to do. 3 hours later, he's like, you know what? The hockey game starts, and I've got a family. So I'm happy
to
for
finally hear Nick's voice because I've heard so much about him over so many years.
Yeah, we'll go eat
Nick.
some fucking meatballs.
Penn State Nick, dude. Yeah. By the way, I think he's gonna. He's full-blooded Italian. It's in his blood. And he may not even stop after 10 minutes. He may just keep going just to embarrass you. But it'll be fun. I mean, look, I've never seen $1 million meatball eating contest.
I doubled up a man twice my size.
Twice your size.
Larry the Finkelstein versus the stomach from Camp Mohawken. Biddlecombe just drops 2 meatballs from his hand, and there's nothing left in the tray.
Me. He really did. He really.
You guys have so much fun, and I can't believe the divine intervention to write this storyline.
What has happened to our podcast?
$1 million winner? That's crazy.
If you told me someone was like, I want to sponsor your podcast for $1 million, or we can have Brenton win $1 million, I would much rather have Brenton win $1 million.
You're stupid.
I'm not, dude.
What are you talking about? Let's grow the podcast.
This is going to be, we will grow it. People will listen to this.
Well, I think people are going to start wanting to listen to have Brenton set their lineup.
Listen, if you listen,
I mean, look.
We love you. Please share that this show exists, and you can win $1 million. If you want to call in, I'll give you fantasy advice.
By the way, speaking of sponsorships,
I'll give you fantasy advice right now.
He will. We're sponsored by Mattress Mac down in Houston, Texas. For all your mattress needs, go see Mattress Mac. He placed a $10 million bet that the Houston Astros would win the World Series, or you get your mattresses for free, or you win $50 million. He'll just give it to you in cash right there. Mm-hmm. I really hope the Yankees beat the Astros so we can watch Mattress Mac lose $3 million in front of the world. But at least he'll have somewhere to sleep at use
night.
Promo code Biddlecombs Millions for half off your mattress needs. Tempur-Pedics, they've got baby beds for Brenton, kid-size beds. So everything you need, go see Mattress Mac. Houston, Texas, soon going out of business because the Yankees are going to beat the Astros. Are you happy for the Nationals, by the way?
Yeah, definitely.
I watched last night. I was happy for them.
As a Phillies fan, I'm so happy for them.
A team that's never been to the World Series or a championship situation ever, you gotta look at them and go.
Yeah,
it's great. Everybody should win one.
Yeah,
Did you hear that, Buffalo?
They've never won a champ. Well, they've only had one.
Do they still have that minor league Bisons
they
team
had.
there?
They do.
The Buffalo Bisons.
They've won the championship, and then their lacrosse teams won the championship a few times.
Well.
But the Buffalo Braves they're now the Clippers.
In fairness, the Washington Sphinxes, I don't know what they're, the women's NBA team. What are they? The Washington
Mystics?
Sphinxes. Sphinxes. They just won the WNBA championship. So, Washington's having a good run right now. Ovechkin a couple years ago. But I was happy to see the Nationals finally get through. They were the Expos for years. They never made it when they were in the Expos. And so they are now, look, the World Series starts a week from last night. Do you want to go play a team that's just swept everyone, or do you think they're going to get cold? Oh, by the way, everyone, Steve Simone, tell us where you're going to be.
I'm going to be in Salt Lake City Thanksgiving weekend.
Salt Lake City at Wise Guys, Salt Lake City Thanksgiving weekend. Go see Steve Simone. Thank you very much, buddy.
Brenton, congratulations.
Love you too.
Thank you.
Don't fill his head up. All right. Caller, you're on the line with Steve Rannazzisi on What's the Odds?
Hey, what's up?
Who's this?
That's my brother.
It's Brenton's brother.
No way. Well, I met you in Cleveland, correct?
No, I'm not in Cleveland. It's his youngest brother. I'm in Dallas.
Oh, the youngest brother in Dallas. I met another brother in Cleveland, didn't I?
Yeah, you probably met William.
Yeah, I met your other brother, William.
Oldest brother.
What's your name, man?
I'm Ryan.
Ryan, welcome to the podcast. Have you heard? Have you been listening? Has your brother told you? Are you guys in good terms right
I know
now?
everything about it.
You know everything about
I
it.
mean, I know about him winning and setting the good lineup and everything like that. I mean, shit's a prime example. My fantasy football team is the best in the league because of advice from Brenton.
Oh, really?
Are you kidding me right now?
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're saying you get advice from your brother. Now, this to me sounds like the call of someone sucking up to his brother who's now a newfound millionaire. All right? Now, I don't know how much you're looking for.
No. I've been first place since the start of the year. And Brenton wasn't a millionaire back then.
Yeah.
And
I
so
was
Brenton gave you advice
just a regular
back then.
piece of shit like everybody else.
And now you're doing well, and now Brenton's a millionaire. And now, so how much money do you need exactly? How much money is it that you're looking for to invest in your skateboarding company or something like that? Or what do you do?
No, none. I work in minor league baseball, so I work in corporate sales for the
There's
Texas
tons of money
Rangers
in minor league
team.
baseball.
Yeah, dude.
No, dude.
Hey,
By the
if
way,
these sponsorship deals come in.
You talk about sponsorship deals.
Get
Now
the
we're
Frisco Rough Riders to sponsor
Yeah,
us.
can we get some T-shirts or something? We'll wear them. I'm a whore,
right.
dude. I'm a whore. All right. Obviously, I work with
Hey,
your
send
brother.
me
I have
some
very
sizes.
low ethics. So if they got a T-shirt laying around, I'm a size large. You know your brother's a petite, and so.
What sizes do you have in the youth?
What sizes for
A
you?
youth
Probably
petite.
like youth husky.
Yeah. Are you the one that had to carry him in your pocket when you guys went out in public so you didn't lose him?
He's taller than me.
Oh,
He's 6 years younger. He's like half a foot taller.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, just looks down at you.
Yeah, I'm the biggest in the family.
Yeah.
Well, take that money now, son. How many Biddlecombs are there?
There's 4 of us.
Did you? How?
All boys.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got you on the phone. How many did you just jump up in your parents' eyes? Like, I don't know where you were before. So if they had a rank, if I had your parents here hooked up to a lie detector test, which, by the way, we're going to do on the podcast in the spring. We're going to hook Brent's parents
So
up to a
I
lie
was
detector
number
test.
1 favorite son. Brenton was number 2 favorite son, but now after the $1 million, I moved down to number 2, and he's number 1.
I love how you didn't even mention the other two brothers.
I
who are like,
just want to want to point out, Ryan, that I actually bought the second spot from my parents, and I'm the first and the second favorite in our family. So you're out of the
He's
top
1
2.
and 2, and there's a 5th asterisk now. That's an actual brother that's not even counted anymore. That's insane.
It's too bad.
Where are you on the scale, Brenton? On the age scale,
I'm the third of 4.
Third of 4. Okay.
Yeah.
And are your parents excited? Have you guys has the whole family talked
it
about
was
it yet?
hilarious. I called them when we got in the car when we were leaving. I called my parents. My mom was like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, how do you
Oh my
explain to your
God!
parents? The internet just gave you $1 million. Like,
So she's
try to
having
do
a
that.
normal reaction. Like, you won $1 million. This is crazy. And my dad goes, "Well, make sure you call the accountant tomorrow. Let him know what happens. So you can figure out what to do next."
Because he didn't believe it. You know why? Deep down inside, if you ask the man, he didn't believe it. He was like me. He didn't believe it. You know why he didn't believe it? Because first of all, they don't just give out $1 million all the time.
He's in his 60s.
No one we know has ever believed.
He's gotten plenty of telemarketers calling, going, "Hey, I got the next
Yeah.
big thing for you."
And plus, he knows you.
Yeah.
He knows where you're supposed to fall mentally in this grand scheme of things, and it's not a $1 million scheme making deal. You know what I'm saying?
Not really, but I like your passion.
Well, here's the deal. I'm happy for your family. I hope you've told all your brothers.
Yeah, they
I hope
all
that
know.
This is not how they're going to all find out.
They all know.
Okay. Are you happy for Cassie? What's your brother's name?
Ryan.
Ryan, are you happy for Cassie?
Yeah, of course.
You like her? She's nice, right?
Absolutely.
She was at our house.
Yeah.
She was stoic the whole time. I'll tell you this, dude. She wasn't like plotting his murder, even though we tried to. We talked about how he would stab him, and burying his body. Like once we got the money, she's not in it just for
that's
that.
what would happen if I won it.
Dude, if you won it, I have no loyalty to you.
Oh,
You would have
I
been
mean, if I
like
won, probably the
if
entire
Brenton
city
came,
would burn
if you
down.
were visiting Dallas, you're like, hey, this is my brother from Dallas. This is my brother Ryan. First of all, I would have forgotten your name right away, and then if I heard you won $1 million, I'd be like, Brenton, your brother's gonna die here in my yard because we're gonna take that $1 million from him, and that's how it would have gone down. So I have no loyalty to you. But your brother, on the other hand, is a good dude who I'm very, very happy for. And, look, he's a good guy. He couldn't have happened to a nicer person.
I mean, if I won the $1 million and I was out in LA with everybody, I mean, one, I'd probably drink every single person under the table.
Of course.
Where none of us could even function anymore.
I'm with you, man.
But,
good job. All right, I like that. I was the only one drinking for the most part all day. That's usually because it's my house.
Yeah,
so
Ryan, I
like,
talked to Dad today, and he's like, "Thank God it was you that won it, because if your other brothers had won it, there would have been issues."
But Ryan, you sound like the kind of person I want to talk to about this bachelor party, okay? Or this some sort of like.
Did we tell you what we're doing?
Well, no, but what we're doing now, I have a different idea.
No. You
helicopters.
Do this.
We have a helicopter
we can
involved
do that.
now.
That's fine. But this is what we're gonna do. Lucas had the best idea.
What is it?
The Field of Dreams game next year in Iowa. It's the Yankees White Sox.
Oh, is that before your wedding?
Yeah, it's before the wedding.
I'm going to that too.
Yeah, so we're
and
gonna
so's
do
Jonah.
that.
He was there too when you won.
Well,
my son.
We're gonna do that, and he's gonna set up like
he can drink.
We can do a show. We can do a show and go to the game and have a whole weekend there.
I'm down for that, but we're doing it private plane from LA.
We're gonna do
straight
something
to
in
Iowa.
LA as
That's
well.
how we're gonna do it. Straight from
here's
with that money.
Well, keep in mind, as Lucas said, the bachelor doesn't pay for his own bachelor party.
No, you will in this situation because you are Brewster's fucking millions over here who just walked into
Just
a
1
goddamn-
million. Just
No,
1 million.
Brewster's million that we need to take a victory lap. We need to spend. I mean, this is a big thing for us, Brenton. Don't be selfish on this, okay? This is a good thing for all of us as a group. We won this money together. We were all there celebrating together.
Steve, what was the contest I was in?
Daily Fantasy on DraftKings.
But what one?
The $20 one, the pea head one, pea brain one, one for fucking pea brain. Here, let's give a fucking moron $1 million and see what he does with it.
Hey, they just did.
I mean, to me, I'm like, I don't even like the fact that you would ever gamble again is remarkable to me. Like, are you going to do it again this week?
Well, here's what happened. So
What?
I took out the $1 million, and because I took out the $1 million, they automatically, when you withdraw, I don't know if there's like a limit, and they go, okay, they automatically refund you the initial deposit amount. And because I won additional money this week, I still have $550 in that account. So I'm going to keep playing.
I guess
on my winnings.
You're just going to play that 500 till it's gone.
It runs out.
Till it runs out.
Yeah, why not?
Or you could give it to Lucas, who's been fucking sweating here, calculating a game every single week, trying to get himself paid.
We are doing parlays to pay Lucas. We're not doing daily fantasy. You can't change the rules.
Oh my
just
gosh.
because it fits your narrative.
I love how you're so good at daily fantasy all of a sudden. Because you won $1 million.
Obviously, I'm at least slightly good at it.
I love how you think you're so good because you won $1 million.
Which, by the way, I don't know who it was who commented on your Instagram that
What?
This will shut up Brenton, the
I
total
know.
fucking points total.
Good job,
I'm
buddy.
ahead of Steve now in our league because I have more points with the same record.
Oh, we're playing
I'm
each
now
other this
ahead of
week,
him.
and guess what? I'm going to beat the fuck out of him, okay? Just like Cassie did after they got home, and she's like, give me that fucking $1 million right now, you piece of shit. Ryan, thanks for calling, buddy. Congratulations on being the brother of a millionaire.
Yep.
All right,
See y'all
buddy.
later.
Be
Brenton,
well.
Have fun tonight.
Thank you. Go Bills.
If the Bills make it to the Super Bowl, you will
For
actually,
sure we're going.
Yeah, you have to.
Do you know where it's
No,
at?
we can all go.
Where is it this year?
It's in Miami.
Oh, I'm not going to Miami.
Okay, Steve's out. Lucas is
No,
in.
thanks. You can
I'm
go,
in.
Lucas.
Emma's in.
Emma, you can go.
I do have a limo taking us to the baseball game too.
To what? Oh, in
Wait,
Iowa?
did you already set it up?
Are we staying at your house?
I have a buddy.
We're
stay at
staying
your
on a
house?
farm.
I mean, not now. I'm
Oh,
kidding,
really?
kidding.
Yeah, not anymore. Oh, we are, but it's called an Airbnb now. My house, and it's $5,000 a night.
I grew up there.
Not in Iowa.
Let's do two things. Number one, who do you fine? Tell me right now, who do you think wins the Houston Yankees series? Who's playing in the World Series a week from today?
Yankees. I want to see a national.
Still go with the Yankees.
Thank God. All right, cool.
Still
All right.
believe in the Yankees.
We'll probably all be wrong.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
you know what? We tried.
Let's get through some games this week. Let's pick a parlay and let's get somebody else besides Brenton paid for once in our lives. I've looked at a couple games, but you guys can go first. I'll go last. I'll keep all the pressure on me. That way, Brenton doesn't have like, oh my God, you picked the easiest game.
You took the easiest
I
game.
don't want to hear
Did he
it.
not take the easiest game?
It's the lock of the week.
It was the lock of the week, and it was my team, and it was the earliest game of the week. So whatever. You guys
Fair
pick
enough.
your games first. I will pick my game, and it will be correct again.
By the way, did you see the spread on the Bills game?
Yeah, it's a bit.
How beautiful is that?
They're at home, right?
They're at home against Miami. They're giving 17 points. They've never had a
thought it was
spread like
14.
that.
They have.
It's
It was
now-
92.
It's jumped to 17.
So then call it pussy.
I'm not.
So then say it, that's my thing.
They're going to win by 12.
Oh, okay. Wow. All of a sudden, he put his fucking thinking cap on.
The game.
What have you eaten the last 2 weeks? Ramen noodles? Go ahead.
The game that I really like is the Minnesota-Detroit game.
New man on the Minnesota Vikings.
The Vikings are at Detroit. Detroit is a +1 with an over/under of 45.5, and I like Detroit to win this.
At home.
At home.
Getting a point.
Coming off that bad game with the Packers.
By the way,
Detroit wins this game.
First of all, I
That's
agree with
my
your
lock.
pick. I look, you could say what you want about refs and stuff, but this situation has gotten out of control now. I watched that game not closely on Monday. I actually just tuned in at the exact right fucking time. And I watched those two calls, and I could not believe. Because you could say, yes, they're not supposed to win the game, and Mason Crosby made the kick. Okay, fine. They won the game. The guy doesn't make the kick, they don't win. He makes the kick, they win.
Mm-hmm.
But you sack Aaron Rodgers on 4th down when he's driving with 9 minutes left in the 4th quarter. On 4th down, you move him back to midfield. You've done your job, and then all of a sudden it's like, fuck. Not like, fuck, I did something wrong, or damn, I wish I blew a coverage. I did everything right, and someone else didn't do something right, and now we're going to hand the best guy in the world right now to do it, in my estimation, another chance. And what do you think's going to happen? There's no backup. There's no like in baseball it happens. The other day, Gary Sanchez swung at a pitch in the dirt, and he just said to him, "I tipped it," to the umpire, and they believed him. He didn't fucking tip it.
Yeah.
Didn't even come close to tipping it.
It was 8 feet away from that.
8 feet away. But the next pitch was 4 inches outside on the left, and you know what the umpire said? Rung him up. Because it's a makeup call.
As he should have.
Because let me tell you, it was a big situation. You had men on base.
Yeah.
So if you give him another pitch and he hits a home run, that's fucking game changing.
Yeah.
Now you're supposed to come back, but let me tell you something. When you do your job, you're like, fuck, I don't want to have to do it again. I can't try to do it twice every time. I think they should only do this is my only. You have human beings out there. Some of them know what they're doing. Some of them don't know what they're doing. Some that know what they're doing but aren't athletic, that can't get to the position to see what they're supposed to see. Football is rich enough to have every single game have 12 monitors at every single game and 12 officials sitting there. That your one monitor only looks at the offensive line the whole fucking time, and you call any foul on that offensive line. Your job is the defensive line. Your job is this. So you have every play is covered. You gain a little bit of time, but you lose a little bit of time in how long it takes. Maybe you give it guys 10 seconds and then the play clock starts to see if there was any penalties in the last play. But you'll gain back all the replay time, all the other bullshit time of all the arguing time spent discussing these calls. It doesn't make any sense. There's 22 moving parts, and they're the biggest athletes in the world. You can't have normal people in there anymore. It doesn't work. Not if you want to put out the product that they expect to put out and charge for. So that's my only thing on that. All right, so. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that's a good game. I think
like
Minnesota
Detroit,
got fucked, and I think they're going to come back with a vengeance. Lucas, you got a game of 6?
Yeah, I got San Fran. I believe it's 10 points over Washington.
9.5.
Now it's 9.5. Yeah, they're going to cover. Washington sucks. I can't see Washington winning.
No, and that's a low spread. I'm going to take Green Bay covering the 5.5. Against Oakland. I don't know if you heard about Trent Brown, but another Brown goes down. Sexual assault charges. So I don't know if he's going to be playing this week. I don't know if that affects them at all. But without him covering Derek Carr, and the defense for Green Bay's look pretty good. I think at home they cover by at least a touchdown. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. It might be like 30-26 or something like that.
I hope so. I got a lot of players in that game.
Something like, they're mid-30s to mid-20s, but I like Green Bay covering. That's the 1 o'clock game? Perfect.
Yeah. And then we're head-to-head this week.
You and I.
Yeah.
I know.
So the loser has to have something happen. There has to be some repercussions to losing.
Okay.
You're still going to eat ants. You're not doing it this episode because this is
was
all
too
about
much.
me winning
This
$1
was too
million.
much.
But you're still going to eat ants. That's still happening. Nobody's forgotten about that. Steve needs to eat ants.
I'm going to eat an ant or 2 ants. We said 2 ants. Yep, I will do that. But, all right, we'll figure out what the ramifications are.
Something like ice water.
By the way, did you see how well I did sitting down a lot?
Yeah, you're doing good.
Standing up a lot.
Proud of you.
Doing this,
Yeah.
I mean, it blends into your T-shirt perfectly.
It does.
Yeah.
You go out
a
in public
fashion
in that.
statement. And then when I walk around the Rose Bowl. I don't want to twist that much because the twisting is still not good. But I want to get my gait back. So I'm really taking good long strides.
Got a good waddle going.
No, that was before, Brenton. Now I want my gait back. So I'm going to be nice and long, like a runway model going around the Rose Bowl.
How long are you wearing that for?
As long as I don't know. I got to go back to the doctor next week. Probably like another week or so. It does stabilize everything. Just kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's a mental thing at this point.
Do you need to wear a belt too while you have it, or is that your belt?
It pushes my pants down, actually. So it gives me it gives me like plumber butt.
You might have a smaller waist, though, when you take it off.
Dude,
Isn't it one of those?
Like a girdle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm svelte when I take this thing off. Look at that. Let's go Yankees. We got to get these wins this week. I'm not performing any stand-up comedy. Are you guys this week?
I'm at the store on Saturday night, main room.
Oh, you are?
Come see me. Message me.
I don't know if I want to say where I am until it kind of wears off that I won $1 million.
Oh, my God. What are you afraid of the thrones of people that are going to be showing? Throws
Probably.
of people?
Probably.
Showing
but
up?
I'll be back in Ohio. I'm at Go Bananas in Cincinnati.
This weekend?
This weekend, yeah.
Yeah, making it rain. So any strip club within a mile of Go Bananas, you know what's happening this weekend. Brenton's won $1 million.
I've had my fill opening for Paulie. I'm good on that.
Are you opening for Paulie this weekend?
No.
I'm like, because he's going to take that $1 million and use it with him.
Dude.
Bro.
Let's have fun, right?
I told Paulie last night at the Ice House, and he was like, dude, he's going to be open. I'm going to be opening for him.
Yeah, I know, bro. Has anyone been negative to you since you told them?
No. People have been very nice.
Besides me?
Very supportive. all but one person for the most part.
People are thrilled for you.
Oh yeah, people are very nice. People have been very kind.
Do they understand it?
A lot of people don't understand how I won it, and they're asking questions, and I think they're taking notes. And
group.
I've probably created 100 people that are going to go bankrupt trying to win at fantasy football at the store.
Well, I'll tell you this: I'm proud of you. I know this is I'm happy for you. I really am. You are like a great dude who, you're like Simone, where it's like great things happen to good people.
Why are you saying it with dead eyes?
No, because I want you to understand that I really am happy for you. But I just don't think that you should have been able to do it. And that's what I think. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So
I'm happy that
I
you did it.
should have been banned from...
No, it's just the way you thought about it. It's supposed to be some guy with the Harvard degree that computer... That's who it is.
Well, yeah, it usually is. It usually is.
But let me tell you something, guys. You want a podcast with two people who have made millions of dollars playing and also being on TV shows fictionally about fantasy football. Well, there's only one in the world. There's only one. And you're looking at it right here. It's also for the number one back patient podcast in the world as well. So thank you guys for joining us this week. Next week, I'm sure we'll be not as interesting as this week, I told you, if you really were smart, you wouldn't even look at the million. You just double down right now, looking at one of these sites we're looking at, and just put it all down for generational wealth, for looking forward for your kids.
Lucas, if we win our parlay, you're making $129.09.
Oh, that's it?
The only game that actually is making money is the Lions game.
Wait, all three bets only come to 129?
Yeah, risking 50.
What are we, pussies?
You guys took easy games. You're taking gimme games. I'm taking one that's Minnesota's finally clicking offensively.
Don't start.
Let's win a small bet.
Let's just see if you can fucking come through for once.
All right.
It's What's the Odds with Steve Rannazzisi. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week live, because if it's Wednesday, I don't know. I don't have the music queued up. That's why I'm just kind of talking.
Probably should have had the catchphrase.
Bingo. There it is. It's back on. It is. Good night. Goodbye. Good luck.
I'm the guy fucking lit. I'm the guy. I'm Steve Rannazzisi.